Welcome back to another episode of The Paige Show. I am sure, like me, it has crossed your mind in these times to want to fly away, either on vacation to another world, to another land, another place, just in your mind, or to heaven itself or home, because things just are a little crazy right now. I will remind you what I believe so much on this show, what I believe from my own spiritual experiences with God, is it has to get really dark for you to recognize the light. I've said that a lot, and I will continue to say that. It explains why things feel so ugly. If there wasn't so much chaos in the world right now, we wouldn't even recognize the need for a light. You don't know that you need to turn on a light until you walk into a room that's full of darkness. And so I want to give that symbolism out there for what we're going through, and just share today that I understand wanting to fly away, but what has been really on my heart is that this is a time to actually embrace the human experience more, because in doing that we can feel empathy for what's going on for people around us. We can hopefully shift out of judgment into understanding. We can shift out of wanting to be reclusive to wanting to connect to people, because we see that there's a need for that. I hope you hear those words. It's just really, really deep on my heart lately. And so I feel as humans, just people in general, we tend to want to think about the future for everything. Finances is an example of that. We want to prepare for the future, so sometimes we're really not enjoying the present. You know, whether it's finances or anything, health, all of that, we tend to want to always look forward to an end result, and we take away the beauty of the present. Because sometimes the present doesn't feel beautiful, right? Sometimes we go through hard things like what we're doing now. And that doesn't have to just be a pandemic or society going crazy. It can be just in your own personal struggles or story. So we want to run away from things, or we want to look to the future of things, anything that could take us away from actually feeling what we have to feel. But what I want to encourage you to I guess explore is the word, that by staying more present, even in the uncomfortableness of your situation, whatever your story is, that's where the real growth happens. That's where you see what you're made of, what should open up for you, what your path is, what maybe your calling is, how you could help people more, what areas you could work on. That's when you're learning all of those things, is when you're uncomfortable. And instead of flying away or being in spirit world so much, or wanting to be somewhere else all the time, the growth is really in staying in the human experience. And so how do we do that when it's uncomfortable? We have to find the little joys. You have to eat that ice cream. You have to get that coffee. You know, you have to enjoy giving that $5 to the little kid who's selling candy instead of holding it for yourself. You have to find what speaks to you, looking at the beauty around you, the one flower that's growing up in front of all of the weeds. It sounds so cliche, but what these things do is they bring you to the present. They remind you that you're in the human experience. It's not meant to always be beautiful, but what can you learn from that? And it teaches you to not always want to be wishing for the future, the time that things are better, the time that you can go back home. For some of us, it's that extreme. It keeps you grounded to see what is around you, to learn what you're supposed to learn from that, so that you can actually enjoy the human experience along the way. And that's what was on my heart today. I hope that blesses you, and I look forward to another episode of The Paige Show.